Buff Nation.
Let's go! Big one today.
Big one today. Welcome into DNVR Buffs Prime Time. We are, of course, presented by the American Raptors at Infinity Park. If you didn't get the ticket you wanted as an elite athlete, check out the opportunities at Infinity Park. Rugby just may be your next ride. My name is Jake Schwanitz. I'm joined by RK. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, former JSU guard, current CU guard now, Tyler Brown, joining the show. We're bringing him in. Tyler, what is up, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, sir. We're very excited to have you. Tons that I want to get to. I'm sure you also, Ryan. So we'll just start off simply with this. How's your offseason been so far? You told us before the show you haven't been able to get to Colorado, but you're coming soon, right?
Yes, sir. I'm coming in next Thursday. I'm moving into my apartment. I'm so excited, so thankful, and fired up to be a Buff. This offseason, I've been very antsy, to say the least, because we finished playing December 17th, and I hate that we couldn't finish the season off where we wanted to. But I'm just thankful for the journey I had with my guys, and just being in the weight room. I've been running every day. I've been told about the altitude and how it's different in Colorado for sure. So I'm trying to do as much as I can, but I know it's going to hit me like a freight train, but I'm excited. There we go.
It'll hit you hard at first, but you'll be good after like a couple weeks.
I'm praying so, but I'm excited. I've never been in real snow either, so that's gonna be really cool too.
Did you see the video of Coach Prime yesterday walking in the snow for the first time?
Oh yeah, I saw it. He's able to soft, so I'm gonna believe him. I'm gonna take his word for it.
The snow on the ground now should probably be gone by the time you get here. We'll see. I mean, we've been getting pounded recently. But I want to go back to your recruitment. What was it like being recruited by Coach Prime to JSU? Obviously, you're a Jackson native, but what was it like being recruited by Coach Prime?
It was a very just overwhelming experience. Just I grew up knowing who Coach Prime was, this all-time great football player, baseball player, just all-around athlete. And to be able to go home and play for Jackson State it was such a blessing, it was such an experience being able to play under Coach Prime and with Coach Markinson, Coach Bartoloni, and that amazing staff. They helped just to mold me into the player I am today. They believed in me. And throughout the recruitment process, they called me, texted me every single day. Coach Markinson and I, my offensive line coach that was at Jackson State, we built such a wonderful relationship, a genuine relationship. And that's what's so important to me is genuine relationships. And even with Coach Prime now, Coach Prime's like a father figure to me. He's not just my coach. And we built such a real, genuine relationship because he's a very real, genuine person. And I'm so thankful for that.
I think people maybe miss on that about Coach Prime, about how genuine and real he really is. I guess, were you surprised at all by that? Or can you explain kind of, I guess, where you stand on, a lot of people are out there saying, oh, Coach Prime he's all about this, or he's all about himself. I think people miss on that.
I think that he gets that's a very big misconception about him, that he's all about himself, all about X, Y, and Z. No, at Jackson State, when he finally decided to leave, we were so excited for him. We were happy for him. And he genuinely does care about us. This is a personal story. So I deal with mental health struggles, anxiety, and I have performance anxiety. So when Coach Prime found out, he took me under his wing and he talked to me every single Thursday. We'd have meetings, just me and a couple other guys on the team that really need an extra, really like an extra voice, a guiding factor. It's a small one-on-one setting sort of deal, and we'd meet every single Thursday. And though that was Coach Prime wouldn't just talk to us about life, he talked to us about his own struggles with mental health and the things he went through even at the top of his career. And those stories and just the experiences I had, I see Coach Prime in a different light from most people. And he's so genuine and down to earth. And you just have to take the time to get to know him, because what you see on camera isn't every side of Coach Prime that I've gotten to see over my time at Jackson State and even now.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, great story. As we mentioned, you're a Jackson native. What has Coach Prime really meant to Jackson as a whole, as the city? Obviously, we saw what he did to the football program, but just for you as a native, what did he mean to the city?
Coach Prime meant everything to the city. We had the water crisis, I think, as you all have all seen on the show, and that was a very stressful time. And just football and everything that we brought to see. I had so many people that would come up to me just in random places and like, just thank you to the Jackson State team, thank you to Coach Prime. You guys have given us a light in the darkness, and that was very overwhelming, and it was humbling to say the least, that so many people came up to me and would say, you guys are doing so much for the city. Coach Prime is doing so much for the city. You guys are really helping us through this crisis, this hard time, with how you guys are playing football and the excitement and joy you guys bring. So Coach Prime really brought a lot to the city, for sure. I'm so thankful he was here, and you have to appreciate that. I try not to. You have to look at it from all sides, and I think Coach Prime's done a lot. He's done so much. He did so much for the city. He did so much for me as a person. He's done so much for each of us individually, as the guys at Jackson State when he was there, that we're just grateful and thankful.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Let's talk a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Your journey from, you talked about when you found out Coach Prime was coming to Boulder. From that moment to now, kind of take us through what life has been like for you.
Well, it was. I had a feeling he was leaving. We just didn't know where. You just kind of get that feeling inside your gut, and I kind of had that feeling. And when I found out, I was more relieved when I found out. So that like all the speculation, all that stuff is done and it's gone. So we knew what was going to happen, and I just try to focus on the game. I try to keep the guys focused. I told my offensive linemen, focus on our job at hand. We have one more, control what you can control, because I'm a firm believer in just controlling what you can control. I can't stress about things that are outside my control. So I just told my guys, we have one more game to protect Shador. We have one more game to open holes for the running back. We have one more game to do our job. And that's why I stress to those guys, is to do our job. And then after the game, I entered the transfer portal. And of course, Coach Prime was one of the first coaches to reach me after the 3-day process, because there's rules to all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I was happy that he called, and thankful that I got the opportunity to come to Boulder.
Nice, man. Have you been able to meet Coach O'Boyle yet? And if so, what's he like?
I have not gotten to meet Coach O'Boyle yet, but I'm very excited to meet Coach O'Boyle.
Well, then on that.
I've heard nothing but great things about him, so I'm excited.
Well, then just about that, have you been able to dig into Coach Lewis and Coach O'Boyle's offense? Have you been getting familiar with that? And if so, are there any striking similarities or differences between that offense and what you guys were doing at Jackson?
I wish I could say I've gotten the chance to get into all of that, but I have not. But because you said that, I'm definitely going to check out some Kent State games.
Let's go.
So I can get familiar, because I have a little bit of time left to get a little knowledge on them before I get there.
How do you feel about pulling as a guard?
Oh, I love pulling. At first, it was because when I pulled at Louisiana Lafayette, we pulled for the end man on the line of scrimmage, so I was used to pulling for the defensive end.
Uh-huh.
And then at Jackson State, I pulled for the middle linebacker every single play, most plays. So that took a little bit of time to get adjusted, trying to pull for this guy that's so much faster than me. But once I got that down, pulling was fun. And then once I started just flatlining guys, it was great.
Well, you're going to get a chance to do that a lot in this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun watching you run around and smack some defensive linemen and linebackers right in the face. What's it like being in the huddle with Shador, and what's it like playing on the field with him?
Shador, it took me a minute to get used to. So I'm like, this guy he's incredible. He's the best quarterback I've ever, on any level, I've gotten to play with. And he commands, he has that, like, he's called grown for a reason. They call him grown for a reason, because he commands that respect. He has that leadership quality to him. He's an amazing person off the field, on the field, strictly business, making sure that we all know what we're doing. He keeps us locked in, focused, and he does a wonderful job just managing the offense, making sure we all know our roles, and takes it very seriously, very seriously.
Do you have anything? Are you going to be playing guard at CU? Do you know exactly where on the offensive line you're going to fit in? Are you going to be playing all over, or is just guard again?
I don't know. Guard, I'm very comfortable at guard, but I do want to learn how to play center. I can snap the ball, but I've never had any live reps at center before, so hopefully in the spring I get some live reps there. I'm comfortable at both guard positions. I played left guard in my college career, right guard, so adding center to my tool bag would be amazing for sure. I haven't played tackle since high school, but at Jackson State, I did get some tackle reps, not in the game segment in practice. I was always going at left tackle, occasionally at right tackle, just in case anything happened.
Nice. You said you got the jacket you're wearing right now for Christmas.
Yes,
Is
I
this the
did.
first time you put it on?
No, I put it on. I think the day of Christmas, I wore it around the house. I
Let's
wore it
go.
with my grandparents, so I was excited to get this for Christmas.
I was gonna say, how's it feel to put on the black and gold?
Feels amazing. It's as a kid in high school, I always dreamed of playing Power Five football. That was always my goal, and that it's so overwhelming still that I get the chance to do that under Coach Prime to prove that I can play against the best of the best in the country. Of course, no knock to Jackson State, no knock to Louisiana Lafayette. The competition there was amazing. It was incredible. And without those two places, I don't think I would be the player I am today to be able to take this leap to play against the Pac-12. Even at Louisiana Lafayette, I played against, my first game playing was against Iowa State. It was the first time I got in against Iowa State, and I got to play against Texas my last year at UL. So I'm so excited to finally be able to go there and compete for a spot, earn a spot, and go out and dominate on the biggest stage. So
We've learned a little bit that Coach Prime has maybe a little fear of Ralphie. He said he still has to maybe get used to being out there on the field with a live Buffalo. Have you thought about getting ready for that first game, putting on the pads and running out behind Ralphie?
It's unique. It's really cool. I kind of agree with Coach Prime a little bit. It's different. It's something it's new. That's gonna be something I have to get used to. But I'm excited. I've never seen a live buffalo before in my life, but that'll be an experience. For sure.
It's the greatest tradition in college football, in my humble opinion.
It's pretty awesome, man. I want to go back to just the process kind of after the Celebration Bowl. Coach Prime obviously coming here. What was it like for you guys on the roster, though, specifically players like you who entered the portal, who I'm assuming were hoping to come to Colorado? Were you guys kind of just talking behind the scenes about that, or did you all naturally just kind of find your way to CU?
We naturally just found our way to CU. I had other schools talk to me over that period, but just naturally over time, we kind of found our way to CU. It wasn't one of those things where it was a behind the scenes thing. No, Coach Prime isn't like that. He wanted to strictly focus on business, and our business was trying to win the Celebration Bowl, and that's what we were focused on completely. And it all just worked itself out, thankfully for me. So I'm excited.
Yes, sir. What are you looking for about Colorado the most, I guess, when you get here?
Everything. The scenery, for sure. I'm excited about seeing real snow. I've never walked in snow before being from Jackson, Mississippi, so that's going to be an experience. The weight room, I've seen the videos.
Yep.
The videos, everything there looks out of this world. Nothing I've ever been around, so I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to prove myself, of course. Hopefully the food's really good. I'm a big foodie, of course. I mean, you can't be offensive lineman and not be a foodie. I'm really excited to try new restaurants in the area, and I love walking. And I heard that there you can walk around, and I'm a big exercise guy, so being able to get out and walk and do all that, I'm very excited about that.
You're coming to the right place, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say, I'm sure your coaches will be happy to hear that you're excited to see the weight room.
For sure.
They're gonna probably have to try to ban me from the weight room. I love lifting weights, love pushing myself to the limit every day. It's therapy for me. Being in the weight room, running on the field, all this stuff it's therapeutic, and I love it.
Well,
let's go, man.
Hit us up if you need food recommendations. I'll make sure you get to the right places. And once you get out here, we are literally in a bar/restaurant right now. That's where our studio is. So we'll have to get you to come down here, sit on the set with us, and we'll let you test out some of our food.
Oh, I would love to. Just let me know the day.
Let's do it.
No.
Looking forward to it a lot, Tyler. Can't wait to get you out here. Can't wait to meet you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're really excited to have you here. People in the comments are super hyped to have you here also. We're just really looking forward to it, man.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I can't wait to get to work and put on for Buff Nation. I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
My family's excited. We're all ready to hit the ground running for sure.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for the time, and we'll see you when you get out here.
Okay, thank you all so much.
See you, Tyler. How about that?
What a guy, man.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Great energy.
Yeah.
Great enthusiasm. I'm super excited for him, and I love just the passion. And it honestly kind of reminds me of a lot of the like newfound passion we've seen from a lot of the Jackson State fans in the comments are just, excited about CU, excited for Coach Prime, of course, when I talk about the fans. But I just love, the idea of just like coming out here and seeing the snow and all that stuff. It's cool to see. It's obviously going to be a new experience, but I just in talking to him, I have a lot of confidence that Tyler Brown is going to be successful.
He's going to do well here, I think, and he's in the offense to really show off his skills and hit some people in the mouth. I'm excited to see him wrapping around, kicking guys out, leading backs, all that good stuff. Before we move on, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, where right now you can earn $150 off a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any college football team to win. You can also check out their stepped-up same-game parlays, boost your winnings up to 100%. Great deals on the home screen if you scroll across the top. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR. New customers place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on a college football team to win and get $150 if your team does. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Also, shout out to our friends at Illegal Pete's. I had it today. I mean, I say it every time. Can't miss. It's some of the best burritos around.
I thought I was the biggest Illegal Pete's addict. You surpassed me.
Dude, you have no idea. In college, I used to crush one of the other burrito Colorado chains on the regular. Mm-hmm. So having Illegal Pete's down the street from the DNVR bar is it's a gift to me, honestly.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's amazing. Illegal Pete's is hooking you all up with a little something extra this year. Spend $100 on gift cards and score an extra $25 for free. Shout out to Illegal Pete's.
First of all, hit us with a thumbs up for Tyler.
Yes.
I thought he did an incredible job.
Yeah,
I can't wait
great.
to have him on the show again.
We'll get him back for sure.
Because he represented himself very well.
Yep, he's going to do well. He could be a potential talking head too if he wants. It seems he's really good.
Yeah, he can absolutely talk. And then Kale, can you bring up? I just sent you something in the Slack. We got to give a shout out to our guy. Bernard Sandoval.
Yes. Put it up. Put it up.
Yesterday, we talked about how the Buffs need to add the golden throne to the end zone. Bernard said, why not add the golden throne to the set? This is epic.
Absolutely. I got a puppy, too. How about that?
You got a beer-drinking puppy over there. Then later, he photoshopped me in like a king's cape because someone said we need a robe. That is actually like a 10 out of 10 Photoshop job.
Yeah, well done. Maybe you can learn a thing or two from him, Ryan.
Well, you didn't like mine yesterday?
It was pretty good. I'll give you that.
As I told you yesterday, I'm like, I'm just bad enough at Photoshop where it looks like that's part of the bit.
Right.
Like it's a shitty Photoshop.
Yep. It hit the point square in the center. Some news. Let's get to it, guys. It was in the comments a lot today. Probably the big topic on Twitter right now. Kevin Coleman. A guy who we thought was just basically a formality to come to CU. He's visiting Louisville today. Or how
they say it there, Louisville.
Louisville. Okay.
You got to hit the VUL at the end. Louisville.
Louisville. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. Other than my first thought, like the spin is, hey, take your time.
Right.
Enjoy the process. If you want to go check out some other schools, you absolutely should. I wouldn't blame any of these guys for looking at all the opportunities they have in front of them. And obviously, Kevin Coleman is a very desired player, a guy that is garnering interest from all over the country. So I don't blame him. I'd love for him to be like Tyler Brown. Commit to CU, sight unseen.
Yeah.
But I also understand the other side of this, which is, hey, I want to go see what's out there, where I could play, what facilities, what schools, what campuses, what coaches fit me the best. Hopefully, he goes through this process, and in the end, he says, okay, well, I could play with these guys, or I could play with Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders in Boulder, and I hope that's what he ends up deciding. But I don't blame him for checking out what he's got.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who was a 4-star recruit last year, was the number 1 recruit in the state of Missouri, 54th player overall. He deserves the chance to go and see what else is out there, I think. I mean, I think all of us in here would like to see him at CU. But it is a process. We'll see exactly how it all starts to unfold. Kale, I just sent you another tweet for the next guy we're going to talk about. Cormani McClain. He played in the Under Armour All-American game yesterday.
Almost had a pick six, I think, on the first throw of the game.
Yep. He did some things. He had this on-field interview during the game, actually. Kale, if you could play it back and play it for the people.
Recruitment, you committed to Miami, did not sign in the early signing period. Where are you at right now?
I'm still in the same spot with my recruitment, but I will be signing January 15th.
January 15th is when you're going to make your announcement.
Yes, sir.
What are the factors that are going to be playing into that, whether or not you stick with your verbal commitment?
Come in, play as a freshman, and whoever could develop me the best.
Who are the schools in the running?
Miami.
Anybody else?
Yeah, that's all.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck to you. Recruitment, you committed to Miami, did not sign in the early signing period. Where are you at
Ryan?
right now?
Very much. An odd interview.
Yes.
Like, I think he's essentially been not taking interviews for the last, I don't know, few weeks. And I almost just wonder if he should have turned that one down as well. A very odd thing. Now, I think it should be noted, he can't sign anywhere January 15th.
No.
So January 15th is when he's going to announce where he is signing. At least that's what I garner from that.
Yep.
Now, why would he need to make an announcement? He's committed to Miami.
Yep. I'm on his 247 page right now. It says hard commit to Miami on October 27th. He obviously didn't sign during the early signing period, but you're not going to make an announcement that you're staying at the same school, right?
It doesn't seem like something that one would do.
Interesting stuff there. I mean, in the other part, he said, play as a true freshman and wants to be developed. You have Coach Prime, probably the greatest corner of all time. And you also have Charles Kelly coming in, who we covered yesterday, who has coached guys like Jalen Ramsey at Florida State.
Jesus.
All those guys at Florida State, the Patrick Surtain at Alabama, all those guys there. I mean, you want to talk about development. Is there a better place for a corner to develop than Colorado?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, Alabama obviously is always going to develop players at a high level. But we're talking about a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Every corner in the country should want to play for Coach Prime. Straight up. And I think that Cormani McClain is thinking along those same lines. Again, there is no signing period that's open January 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had said, I'm going to sign on signing day, and then he said, there's no one else in the running, I wouldn't have been as... I wouldn't be scratching my head quite as much. But the fact that he has said he's going to make an announcement on January 15th is interesting. I wonder why, though, he didn't want to expound any more on what schools might be in play.
Because I think everyone knows what school might actually be in play.
Interesting. I mean, of course, that's what I'm thinking. But, why wouldn't he want to divulge any other information?
It's a great question. This tweet came through yesterday. This was from our guy, Matt H. at ScoBuffs92, I believe. He did some reconnaissance work.
That Twitter sleuth of the year.
Yes. He went and found out that Cormani's mom is not only following the CU Barstool page, but is following Coach Prime, Deion Jr., and Travis Hunter.
3 prominent figures.
Very prominent figures.
Not to say that Barstool account isn't prominent as well.
They're influential.
Yes, exactly. 100%. Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. And it at least shows there's been, I think, some sort of interest, or the word you used, reconnaissance, on their part, to see what's going on at CU, what might be in the cards. I just can't stop thinking about the opportunity that presents itself for him to play opposite of Travis Hunter. I just think that is, no matter how you spin it,
Oh my God.
it's just such a great opportunity for a corner. And I think that no one is going to understand how to put those guys in the best positions than Coach Prime. Even going back to the Shannon Sharp interview, and he was like talking about how he hated playing cover 2 man because you had to, give him that cushion. Like
he gets it.
He gets it.
Yep.
He gets it on such a different level. And so that has to be so attractive, especially if you want to come in and play as a freshman. Like,
exactly.
I've seen some of the. I'm not trying to knock his abilities at all, but if you come in as a true freshman and you're playing against college speed and size for the first time in your life, and you're expected to be the lockdown against the number 1 wide receiver every week, that is a lot of pressure for a young player. Not that he can't handle it, but if I were him or if I were anyone, I would prefer to go to the place where, hey, if I were calling the defense at CU, I would say, which side do you prefer? Okay, you're just there.
Yeah.
So whoever's over there, you're going to draw their number 1 at times, but you don't have to worry about chasing guys around or anything like that. You got your side. Trav has his side. Lock it down.
And as Fushnik in the comments says, and you get to practice against Shador Sanders, which is, iron sharpens iron, right? That's the saying.
And you get to practice against Travis Hunter as well.
Travis Hunter at wide receiver. Man, how awesome would that be? Sticking with guys from the Under Armour game, Kale, I sent you another tweet. You don't have to play the sound here. But Dylan Edwards, he had some nice plays, but he also
Had this.
He earned the title of the fastest man at this game, pointing at another guy while crossing the line. His speed is just it's outstanding. You saw it yesterday in the highlight. It was like a 15-yard run, but still just beats everyone to the outside, just takes it right to the first down marker.
He looks like, it reminds me of like in Madden when you don't really know how to play as a kid.
Yeah.
And you have like a creative player or create a player who's like 99 speed,
yes.
and you just take the ball and run straight to the edge. And like, that's what he did on that long run he had, and it just worked. It was so easy for him. Like, he gained the edge in 3 steps.
Yep.
Just like, shoo, gone.
Well, not to mention, it was a broken play. It was supposed to be an inside run.
That's
the
what I
snap
mean.
was like in his face, and he's just like, nah, we're going this way.
Yeah, true. The ball, I guess it ended up being kind of like a direct snap. Just landed in his hands. He's like, okay, bye. That dude, I mean, I've felt this all along. I feel even more strongly about it now. I'll give him the ball in the first play of the season. Mm-hmm. That's how impactful I think he's going to be for this team. I don't know, you have to take care of a guy of his size over the course of a 3 or 4 year career, but it's going to be hard to not want to give him the ball in so many situations. And I really do envision him lining up in that slot more than a few times because, again, this whole offense is about getting the ball to athletes in space, getting it to speed in space, getting it to size in space so that these guys can, use their abilities. And you just want to, what is a team going to do if you line up out there and Dylan Edwards is sitting in that slot and you're wanting to play off coverage? That ball is getting thrown to him on a little screen, and you're going to have 10 yards to make up. It's going to put teams in terrible, terrible positions and force them to do things they really don't want to do. So, other than Travis and Shador, he's my number one in terms of excitement over a player that's coming into Colorado, transfers or recruits.
Yep, same. Just throw him back there. Have him return the opening kickoff of the season, too. May as well.
Yes. I just think you're not going to be able to get him the ball enough.
100%. We'll see his use as a freshman. It's going to be very interesting. A storyline to keep eyes on for sure. One more topic before we get to your guys' questions, if you want to throw those in the chat. You touched on it when we were talking to Tyler. Coach Prime is scared of Ralphie, man. He is a little intimidated by Ralphie 6, right? Even though she's a younger girl.
Yep. Ember.
Yes, Ember. She's a force to be reckoned with, and Coach Prime wants to meet her before they cross paths on the field.
This is one of those things that I just think sounds more intimidating than it really is.
Yeah.
He didn't even know when he was talking about this, who runs out first.
Yeah.
I promise you don't have to run away from Ralphie every game. Ralphie leads the pack, and then you get to go out behind her. So I just think, we need to show Coach Prime some tape. Mm-hmm. He's a savant when it comes to watching tape.
Yep.
Let's show Coach Prime some Ralphie tape to calm his nerves a little bit. There is just nothing like it. And I assume Ralphie and Ember, her growth spurt as she becomes an adult is coming very soon.
Yep.
And once you get like a full steam, full speed Ralphie out there running, it's the best thing in sports in terms of, pregame pageantry and traditions. And I think they'll get used to it real quick.
I hope so. John in the comments says Ralphie 6 living with Ralphie 5. They're together. So
Yep.
Coach Prime will get a taste of a bigger buffalo and then the buffalo that he'll be running out behind. So.
I know it's unfortunate because I'm sure they'll go meet her at some point if they haven't already. But they won't be able. We won't get the well-off media behind-the-scenes look because for those of you who don't know, Ralphie is kept at an undisclosed location for her safety, and they are incredibly serious about this. I mean, incredibly serious.
Yeah.
Like, no phones, no pictures, no nothing. They don't want anybody to have any sort of hint as to where she is. So we won't get to see the behind-the-scenes look when they go out to visit her at the ranch. But I don't actually know if I ever confirmed if this was true, but I heard a rumor this last year that like someone posted a picture from there, and they were so upset about it they ended up moving her.
Huh. Interesting. I came across an article. I want to say it was the Boulder Daily Camera. It might have been something like that, but someone had a picture, and you could kind of see like the background. I don't know if that's the picture you're talking about, but interesting stuff.
It's a serious operation to protect Ralphie.
It is. She is precious cargo.
And she, just for everyone, again, for anyone who's new, she lives a very charmed life.
Yes.
Just absolutely pampered and treated like the queen that she is.
She is the queen of Buff Nation. Before we get to your guys' questions, I want to tell you all about Denver Health Medical. It's open enrollment time for individual health plans through January 15th. Denver Health Medical also offers Elevate Exchange plans. You can call direct at 303-602-4912 or sign up online at denvermedicalhealthplan.org. Additionally, they have added a new virtual mental health option, also called Elevate Mind. As I said, open enrollment exchange runs November 1st to January 15th. Call today at 303-602-4912 or visit www.denverhealthmedicalplan.org.
I thought we had an intruder vote with shaking that door handle so much.
Maybe it is an intruder. I don't know what he's doing back there.
Someone call security.
All right. Questions, Kale. What do we got today? From Jeff, why wouldn't you not want to play for Deion? He's been where these kids would love to be at and has a ton of life experience. It's a great point.
Yeah, and man, what great insight on the type of coach and the type of man that he is from Tyler Brown. It's really cool to see that stuff because you and I have been able to gather this the more and more that we've watched and learned about Coach Prime, but the level of care that he has for the kids and it is he clearly feels as though that's one of his callings in life, is to help these kids become men, help them become NFL players. This goes back for 20 years now of him starting all the way at the peewee level, working his way up to college football, and if he ever wants to, I bet it'll end in the NFL if that's something that he dreams of. But it's like I said, it's clearly something that he feels he was called to do. And you notice that in the way that he cares about these players. And, Tyler, I thought it was really cool of him to kind of share about his performance anxiety when it comes to playing on the field.
Yeah.
And just Coach Prime being able to say, like, dude, I get it. Like, I don't know what stories he has, but you can imagine him saying, like, the week of the Super Bowl, the first time I ever played in the Super Bowl, like, I couldn't sleep or whatever it may be. Like, those types of experiences are just invaluable to be able to share with a player like Tyler Brown and help someone like Tyler Brown realize, okay, this is normal. It's okay for me to feel like this. I just have to do X, Y, and Z to overcome it so I can perform at my best and obviously feel my best mentally, from Sunday to Friday.
Sure. And then not to mention that Dylan Edwards being one, but there's a lot of these kids that he coached as young kids. in youth football. I think Isaiah Jada was another one that played with Dylan Edwards.
Oh, wow.
So it's just an interesting time. I mean, there's a special connection between Boulder and Coach Prime happening, but also these players that are coming in that goes way beyond their high school playing days.
Right, and someone in the comments talking about Cormani said the big question is whether he's going to want to leave his home state of Florida. Coach Prime, Florida boy. Travis Hunter, Florida boy. Like, you know, there's going to be some of that flavor in Colorado as well. So, you know, I think that is going to help a lot of these guys when it comes to those big transitions.
For sure. Next question. From Travis, didn't watch the Under Armour game. Who stood out?
We were doing the show, so we didn't get to watch every second of it. I mean, Dylan Edwards absolutely, you know, popped off the screen the first play. He had an unfortunate play a few plays later where they went for it on 4th down, and his Speedy Gonzalez legs got moving too fast and just ran right out from underneath him. But we were watching. I kept looking to see if we got a glimpse of Adam Hopkins or a glimpse of Kofi Taylor Barracks. I didn't see them. Yeah. So, you know, Dylan was the only one who really popped. And Cormani. Who almost had the pick six.
Exactly. Yep, you nailed it. Next one. From our guy Jamel, what's the chance of Bronny James joining CU basketball for the 24 season? He's also featured on Amazon Prime. I haven't watched that, but Tad is building something out there.
Yes. I actually think there may be what's the word I'm looking for? Residual benefits for Colorado basketball because of Coach Prime being with Colorado football. Because at the very least, the program is going to be in the national spotlight on Saturdays. And, you know, if you get these kids who, not all high school athletes are sports fans, but a lot of them are.
Right.
And a lot of them are going to be tuning in, you know, on September 9th when College Game Day or Big Noon Kickoff or one of those massive shows is in Boulder. And, you know, they're going to catch that game, and they're going to be all these beautiful shots of campus, and they're going to show the fans being absolutely raucous in the stands. And there is a chance that someone, maybe not Bronny James, but someone of that caliber is looking at that saying, wow, that's pretty cool. What's their basketball program like? And it just opens a door, and you find out that the basketball program's been successful, and Tad Boyle has developed NBA players damn near every other year. And, you know, I believe there's going to be residual benefits for Tad Boyle because of Coach Prime.
100%. Just look at Alabama. Alabama basketball has been on a resurgence. They're first in the SEC right now. They're 12-2, ranked number 7 in the country. I mean, it's different than football, as you mentioned, but you can't help but think that this basketball program has to have seen some growth because of Nick Saban and the work that these guys have been doing in Tuscaloosa. I'm sure we'll see some of that in Boulder also.
What else we got? Let's try to get to 150 likes while we're at it, by the way.
Yeah. Super chat from B. Moore. Rank these players as in want. Coleman, Damon Damas, Demario Tolan, Eric Gilbert, Justin Rogers. We talked about Cormani and McLean.
Eric Gilbert would be sick. That's the tight end from Georgia.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So you obviously got Seydou Traore. Can never have too much talent at that position. Tight end, of course. I really want Coleman. I'm not as familiar with the other guys. We were actually planning tomorrow to do a full show, or a full segment at least, on who is available in the transfer portal. I feel like we've hit, you know, in the NFL, you talk about like wave 2 of free agency.
Right.
Which actually in the NFL, that means lower tier players. I don't think that's what that means here. We're in wave 2 of transfer portal because the guys who wanted to play in their bowl games are now entering the portal. So it'll be interesting to take a look at who's available and, you know, what the rankings are in terms of on 3 and 24/7, who they think is the best guys out there. But I would love to get Eric Gilbert and obviously Kevin Coleman.
Damon Damas, a former 5-star recruit, 5-star from 247, 5-star from the composite, number 31 player in the nation in the 2020 class.
What position?
Wide receiver. He did not play this last season, I don't think, because he just entered the portal on March 29th, 2022.
Where was he at?
Texas A&M. Another one of those guys who have left the program. Demario Tolan is a linebacker of, I think, the 2022 class. He committed to LSU. It looks like in 2021. I'm not seeing a hard commit on his. Oh, he's in the portal. So he enrolled at LSU in January 2022. Entered the transfer portal today, actually.
Oh, all right. See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Justin Rogers, a defensive lineman, former four-star guy in the 2020 class, was at Kentucky. He entered the portal yesterday. So some guys to highlight tomorrow.
Yes, we'll talk all about those guys tomorrow. All right, Kale, what else we got?
Let's
All right,
go.
Let's keep it rolling.
What will happen if we upset TCU? What will they say? What can't they say at that point?
I don't know. I can't wait to shut up the haters.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so many people out there that are still talking about 1-11 and this and that and the other, and Coach Prime couldn't get it done in the Celebration Bowl and blah 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 blah.
Haters.
Eventually, they will be silenced. I don't know if it's going to happen in Week 1 against TCU, but at some point, those people are going to have to eat their crow, and they won't. They'll just hide or delete their accounts or whatever they got to do.
Or find the next thing that they can nitpick about.
Right,
Coach Prime.
exactly. But we'll know and we'll remember. I've got my bookmarks are getting full. I've got a whole folder.
We keep receipts. Next one. Any talks of upgrading Folsom Field?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, and notably on the west side, which is the side that
Fantastic.
really the only side that needs upgrades.
Yes.
The rest of the stadium, while old, is beautiful, functional. They could probably fix some of the bleachers, especially in the student section, because those just get stomped on all season and sometimes, get a little warped. But in my opinion, there's two things that need to happen. One is upgrading what is now known as Balch Fieldhouse, which is the east side of the stadium or the west side of the stadium, which is just, it looks run down. And then the other thing we talked about yesterday, let's just repave the pavement there in the end zone with the Colorado on it. But other than that, like, the stadium is in great shape. I'm obviously biased towards it because it's my favorite place on earth, but it's a beautiful stadium and it has character. Like, some of the older things in it give it some touch, give it some soul.
Yeah, really looking forward to next season at Folsom. I would welcome those changes to the west side.
Also, I know they tried to upgrade the sound system last year.
Yeah.
That could use some more upgrades.
Yeah, maybe try a different song other than Hotel California. Next question. What's the info on Cooks in the portal? I thought he was a part of that Louis luggage.
Hooks?
Hooks maybe,
Shane
or
Hooks?
Cokes. Cokes is coming.
Yeah. Cokes is in. But I imagine Louis luggage, meaning
has to be Shane Hooks.
JSU player, so maybe Shane Hooks.
I haven't heard anything from him either. Seems like he's taking his time also. I'm sure he's in not the same situation as Kevin Coleman, but I'm sure he's getting
interest.
You heard from Tyler. Other schools are reaching out and stuff. So.
Yep, of course.
What else do we got, Kale? Do we know when Coach Prime is reading Ralphie? We don't know yet.
Meeting. You said reading.
Oh, meeting? Yeah, we'll find out.
Also, Ralphie, R-A-L.
Tell him.
Wait, R-A-L-P-H-I-E.
Yes.
Confused myself. R-A-L-P-H-I-E is how he spell it. We don't know, but I assume it'll happen. They could do like a practice run with her on the field or something of that nature. I'm sure they will run her out there for the spring game, so that could be the first time. But Coach Prime said he wants to meet her before he has to do that. And that's actually a perfect segue into Jamel's question. Has Ralphie ever gotten away from the handlers? Yes. Yes, it has happened. I want to say it wasn't a spring game, though. It may have happened in an actual game. It was well handled by the handlers for a disastrous potential situation. But she's pretty well trained. She knows where to go.
Yeah.
So it was like a brand new, really young Ralphie that got away. And it was funny for everyone else.
Yes. There's some videos out there of like old time videos you can see of Ralphie pulling handlers, like
Oh, yeah.
being a beast. And then I'm sure it's what you're talking about where someone kind of slipped and fell in the middle of the run.
At her full size, like when she's in her prime, she goes.
Yeah.
And so one person's literal job is to have they have the ropes that go off. One person's job is the rope in the back, literally just trying to slow her down. So that's one of the reasons why you don't go with a male,
Right.
because they're just too powerful.
Yep.
But it's still a wild beast out there that they're running.
Yeah,
with.
for sure. Next question, Kel. Do you guys know how many season tickets have been sold for the 2023 season? Season ticket update, Ryan.
Yes. All of them. No, not quite yet. But they will.
It's going to be close.
Yes. So currently, there are thousands and thousands of interest forms. And the reason CU did this is so that the tickets don't end up in the wrong hands. So really the only thing between, where we are now and selling out the season tickets is time.
Mm-hmm.
They're still accepting those forms because some of them are going to get declined and denied if they're suspicious in any way. But it's just a matter of time before it sells out. So they're just they're calling these people every day, talking to them, hopefully finding Buffs fans and getting them set up with seats. It's crazy though, because I have some friends, I won't throw anyone under the bus, who said enough is enough over the last couple of years and didn't keep their season tickets going, and now they're back in line with everyone else.
Yep.
And I have no sympathy for them.
I've seen a lot of those stories on Twitter also, and it's kind of one of those you just throw up your hands and go, well, sorry. People around the office too have been saying, I'm interested in season tickets, and I always tell them, you got to get going, man.
You better go. You better go.
Next one from KB. Why is Nick Williams only the defensive end coach? I heard Warren Sapp is in school to coach for Prime. What are you guys' thoughts? Nick Williams is the defensive line coach, is what I saw.
He is defensive end, so they are going to add a tackles coach.
Okay.
Or a interior defensive line coach.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of theories out there as to why. But I would guess that there is an ace recruiter out there who may still be coaching that they want to get to coach the interior defensive line. And yeah, that's my guess.
That. Okay.
Again, don't, quote me and throw it out there on Twitter and say I said that, because I'm just guessing.
We'll see.
What about Warren Sapp coaching for Prime?
I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, he's obviously this is something Henry mentioned like a while back when we were. I don't even think when Coach Prime was hired. Yeah, so he's obviously interested. We'll see if the interest is reciprocated.
And he was in the dock. He came and visited with the guys. Yep. I mean, again, imagine like Coach Prime calls a kid, then Warren Sapp follows up right after that. Like, it's just unbelievable to even imagine. So maybe there's an opportunity for them to do that, or maybe it's more along the lines of what I was talking about. What was I just about to say about Warren Sapp? Gosh, I lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back to me.
We can answer Jimmy's question, or Neo's if you want to throw that one up. Yeah. Does the channel have a merch store? It's impossible to get CU gear at stores in South Florida. New sub. Well, first off, welcome, Neo. And yes, there is a place that you can get some merch. Go to DNVR, the DNVR or just DNVR?
DNVRlocker.com.
Okay.
That's where we have all of our merch for all the teams, but there is a CU tab on there with lots of good gear, and I can assure you there will only be more and more coming to it over time here.
Yeah, the one day we're actually not wearing some of our new gear to show off.
Yeah, it's true. Although this does come from the locker. It's just not CU. You
can get this hat too. My guy Jimmy, what's up, man? Did you guys read the article from the Denver Post in regards to the detail of Prime wearing Nike? I didn't read that.
I didn't even see the headline or anything.
We'll have
interested
to
see what that's all about.
Yeah. PJ Williams in the comment from Nicholas. Our guy Matt H. ScoBuffs92 posted another screenshot of PJ liking a CU Barstool tweet.
Let's go.
Seems like a matter of time. We'll see.
Twitter sleuth of the year.
Yes, our guy. That's about it. You guys smash that like button. You got us over 150. Appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, transfer talk?
Yes. Let's dive in. We'll spend tonight and tomorrow kind of getting a list together of who's out there, who's the most interesting. Because I feel like we're having to like reset all over. We were like, all right, we want this guy and this guy, and then they got most of them.
Yeah.
And now we gotta make a new wish list.
Let's do it. It's going to be fun. I'm working on a film room too. I'm going to try and have it out tomorrow, Friday at the latest.
There we go.
There it is, guys. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, hit that like button, subscribe. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.